Hi, I'm
Hi.
here with my cousin Cheryl, and we're having coffee, and we're trying not to spill it or get it anywhere else.
We're in big trouble.
So good. So it's a nice rainy day. We're having a nice cozy afternoon. So let's talk about listening skills, because you are a very good listener. And what do you think is the key to good listening? How do you focus in when someone's telling you a story, especially if it's like you don't really want to hear it?
I try to listen. I try to look at the person and put on a look as though I am interested, even if I'm not that interested, but usually I am. I try to just focus on them and ask questions pertaining to what they're talking about. So that gives them incentive to keep on going, whether they want to get something off their chest or they just want to talk about themselves, because whatever they talk about is fine with me.
Because I think that nowadays people feel as though they're not heard. That it's really a big thing to really feel like you have a friend that you could confide in and feel heard. What do you think is like the most important thing about being heard?
I think you have to know your audience, because some people really are not listening to you and they really don't care. I tend to really do like listening and give advice, and so I try to let people know that they're being heard. A lot of people are just, they give up, I think, afterwards. After they try to say something, someone's not listening, or a crowd, and their voice does not get across, they just stop and give up. I think you have to know who you're talking to and take your moment, pick it sometimes. Sometimes people really aren't listening, unfortunately, in this day and age.
And how do you, if somebody's like talking and they're just going on and you want to stop the conversation, how do you do that?
That's a tough one. So when that happens, depending what it is, I will either say, try to end it either with, listen, I promise you I will get back to you. If it depends where it is. If it's on the phone, I'm really sorry, I will get back to you. Someone else is calling in, blah, blah, blah. If I'm talking face to face, I will just signify the end of the conversation with something that they know I'm still interested, but I really do have to take care of something else.
I think that's really important. I think it's important that you be careful and balance your own needs so that when you are listening, you truly are listening. And when you're not listening anymore, that you end the conversation so that people get the best of you.
I agree with that.
So the next thing is you have a lot of friends. How do you don't think you have a lot of friends?
I don't think so, no. But go ahead. I have, but not where I live. I don't know. Go ahead, yeah.
You have a lot of friends for a really long time.
Yes.
How do you keep in touch with all of them?
You know what? I think your good friends you don't have to speak to all the time, and I don't sometimes. I speak sometimes periodically or something, and you have to really, my mom once said to me, if you want to keep those friends, you have to put a calendar on a date on the calendar if you want to see them, because if you don't, time passes, and that is the truth of the matter. We all get busy, caught up in life, and when you do have friends and you do want to keep up, you have to put in an effort. So it does not have to be daily, because friends understand that. Just communicating, and you speak to them, it's like you spoke to them yesterday, if they're good friends, because everyone goes through things. And then in the clutch, when you need them, they're there if you need to speak more. But you do have to stay somehow or other in contact. And it could be once in a few weeks, whatever your relationship is. It doesn't matter.
Don't you think that sometimes when you look at your friends, you feel like you could just weed your garden and that you just want to get rid of everybody? You ever feel that way?
I feel like that many times, because I am good by myself. I like my own space. That's the truth also. And sometimes I'm really not in the mood to converse, and I will let the phone, if it rings, I'll let it go to voicemail, and I'll get back when I get back. And that's not such a good thing that I do sometimes. But sometimes I really don't have the patience. You know, you work all day. I rather make my calls from the car when I get home. I'm really done talking. I like to just have my time because I get home late. So that is a good point.
I think you have to balance. I think it's always like a balance between keeping your friends happy and making sure that you keep yourself happy. It's really important that you know your limits, that when you decide that you want to be with someone, that you give them 100% of your attention. And the other thing is that for the people